What's up, y'all? It's your boy back at it. Sorry, I haven't been really active like that recently. Been kind of busy doing my thing. Lot of business going on as far as what I do. Um, I want to share with y'all a real live true story. I had a I have I had a Facebook friend who posted a post on her Facebook, stating that she experienced some racism. Now, it was a very, very long post. Like it could have been it looked like it was a few pages long, like if you were reading a book. I read about half of it. I read about half of it, didn't read the whole thing because I felt when I got to the middle of the story, I felt that I pretty much knew all I needed to know to go ahead and give my response about racism, why she experienced what she experienced and everything like that. Before I get into what she posted, I just want to give a couple things to the story so you can understand where I'm coming from or the mentality of this person that I'm about to talk about. Now, first and foremost, I graduated from a high school overseas. I went to a high school called Jakarta International School back in the late 90s. I was only there for a year. I left during the end of 11th grade from the US, and I went there and only did 1 year, then I graduated there. Anyway, while my tenure there, of course, I met people and made friends from all walks of life, all different races and nationalities and everything like that. And any and every nationality and race that you could think of, they all went to that school. Anyway, she was another black chick from the United States. It wasn't very many black people there. It was me, one, two, three. It was probably no more than four black people who went to the whole school while I was there. Anyway, so she's a younger chick. I think at that time, I think I was about a year older than her. She was 16, I was 17. Anyway, um, oh, she's one of those black people who, she talks white, she talks very, very proper. I mean, she's if you were to talk to her on the phone, you would think that you're talking with a white chick, because that's just how white she sounds. She talks white, and her character, personality is that of a white person as well. Like she doesn't act ghetto, ratchet at all. She doesn't even speak, with a black dialect that we speak with these days. Like she totally tries to take out how she really sounds and act and sound really white. Anyway, so she posts this post on Facebook about how she experienced racism. To make a long story short, it wasn't even a white dude. It wasn't even a white dude. It was an Asian dude who she experienced the racism from. Her and some friends were sitting down, I think eating lunch or something like that, some public place. And out of nowhere, she claims that this Asian dude start, hurling racial epithets to her, such as "you nigger bitch" and "you need to leave here," and just pretty much just kept calling her a nigger bitch. So I forgot what she said in response and what her friends really did. They didn't really do anything. Her friends that she hangs with was majority white. She probably had, I think did have another Asian with her or something like that. But pretty much, she's the only black person in her circle. She doesn't really have many black friends. Anyway, so she was saying how her friends were trying to take up for her and say that's not right and you shouldn't be calling her that and you're a racist and blah 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 blah. Okay, well, I commented and I was just stating, well, first of all, I was under the impression, I mean, I didn't read the whole story. She didn't say it was a Chinese dude or Asian dude until like the end of the story, end of the post where I didn't read. But my responses and everything was really about racism and, just pretty much trying to give her me being that I'm an older black man and we experience way more racism than, black women do. I was trying to give her some game that she may not know of about racism, and how these racists act. So I was just pretty much giving her the outline facts about racism and about white supremacy and why it exists and why they hold white people, why they hold white supremacy in the highest regard and will do anything and risk their life to keep white supremacy going. Um, so pretty much, I was dropping all knowledge and facts about white people, how they've been barbaric and the most racist people in this world, and how racism wouldn't even exist if it weren't for white people. Um, She didn't respond to me at first. I had a whole bunch of her white friends responding, saying how that's not right and how I'm kind of seem like I'm racist because of my views of racism and stupid stuff like that. So let me break down to what I was saying so you guys can get a better understanding. I was pretty much, just the truth. Uh, White people are racist. This whole if it weren't racism, I'm sorry, if white people weren't that racist, or if the white people weren't racist, of course, then first and foremost, black people we will have reparations. They will understand the cruelty that their ancestors have done unto us, and they really truly, in fact, felt that their ancestors were racist, and they know in fact that black people built this country. That if it wasn't for our free labor, that they wouldn't have the financial hierarchy that they have today. And that is not just only that, of course, them raping and stealing and pillaging from the world, all riches and goals from, all, four corners of this earth, put them at the top of this world. Anyway, to make a long story short, um, she pretty much, I was just lacing her with some game, just, trying to keep her head positive, keep a head up. What's to watch for? Don't be surprised if your white friends don't really kick for you or don't really help you out when you experience any racial tensions from other people in other groups. Because, for example, it was done to her by a Asian dude. Now, I wonder how her white friends would have reacted if it was done to her by another white dude. I was talking to her pretty much, that you have to watch your white friends because at the end of the day, yeah, they may be your quote unquote friends and you may know them, but at the end of the day, their ideals is still going to be pretty much different from you. I was saying how behind her back they probably refer to her as, oh, that's just my black friend. Black people need to understand that, yeah, you can have associates, you can have friends of other races, white friends and everything like that, but at the end of the day, more than likely, 9 times out of 10, their ideals and what they believe in is going to be totally different from yours. It's going to be in a total 180-degree angle. It's not going to be the same simply because they're white. Like I don't. This is what she cannot understand. I was saying that to you would definitely know who's your real true friends, especially when you're dealing with white people, by pretty much asking them if you have to talk about racism. There's no way in this world as a black person that if a white person, if you have a white friend, they're truly your friend without talking about racism to see where they stand, what do they believe, what do they feel as far as racism and what should be done about it and things like that. But not just on the surface of things. I'm talking about getting really, really specific as far as not being afraid to talk about ending white supremacy and how do they feel about white supremacy ending, as far as them not having their financial and socially, hierarchy. Like if they were to agree with him with that person, yeah, I agree. White supremacy needs to end, and that it's wrong, and pretty much it's the brutalization of the world. White supremacy. White supremacy is the reason why we have racism and a whole bunch of poor people in this world. Oh, well, poor other races in this world. So I was saying you would know truly if a white person is your friend and they really 100% feel genuine towards you in that friendship. If you were to ask them, for example, like if you would ask them how do they feel about reparations, do you think that black people should get reparations? Do you think that your relatives, ancestors from the past are responsible, for what they've done to black people? And they will quickly come to find out that what they believe in, their ideals is totally not in line with black people. I don't understand how black people can be friends with white people if their views on racism is totally different from black people. I think that's a huge problem in the black community because we get friends with certain white people and we don't know where they stand on race because it never comes up because nobody ever wants to talk about race because it's always going to be problems. Someone's always going to get upset, and people always want to steer clear of talking about racism because they want to steer clear of any confrontation arguments or possible fights. So when black people get white friends, racism, the talk of racism hardly ever comes about because it's that's the conflict right there, black or white. So they're trying to, being that they don't want to harbor any racism, make it seem like that person is racist. I guess the conversation of racism will never come up. But honestly, that it needs to come up, especially if you're black. The talk of racism needs to come up with these white people so you can see where they stand and how they feel about it, which is a reflection on how they feel about you. So I was telling her, I challenge you to ask any one of your any one of your white friends how they feel about racism, if they if they're for white supremacy ending, if they're for equality for all, and amongst other things that you can easily ask the person to see what they truly believe in and how they feel, especially if you're talking about politics. But anyway, I was saying that's one underlying factor how what you can ask to really judge your white friends if they're really, if they really have a genuine uh feeling and unbiased uh attitude towards you. So she turned on me. Like, I'm trying to look out for her and give her some game because we both black and we both experiencing the same motherfucking problems in the system. But she went to Cape and hard for her friends. Like, and the thing is, I didn't post anything there's nothing that I posted that anybody, white, black, yellow, green, that anybody of any race could get denied. I just posted facts about racism, where it stems from, how it's how it's vibrant, why it will never die, and just pretty much all facts and trying to give some game of what these white people today feel about you, how they operate, because they all at the end of the day will stay on code. For example, let's just say that let's say they committed a crime and all of them were guilty as hell. All of them had partook in a crime, but then for some reason or another they got caught and got arrested. They all got charged with the same exact crime, but for some reason, a week later, 2 weeks later, those same friends you got, all of a sudden now they are co-defendants, and their charges is not as severe as your charge. And then late, you come to find out that all of your white friends pretty much, got together, colluded to, you know, pretty much throw you under the bus and let you and say that you did all the crime or that you made them do it or any type of story to pretty much get them out of the situation. That pretty much happens. And it's like these relationships with white people, they'll be genuine, they'll be fine, they'll last. But if some real shit goes down, to like where I'm just saying, to like if there's a crime committed and then the judicial system has to get into play, them white people in the system will have a talk with them white people and say, hey, look, you're young, you can fuck up your life, we can pretty much save you. Here's what you could do. You can go ahead and say, say you weren't responsible, you didn't do it, that this black person held you up to it, and we'll go ahead and roll the dice and help that slide into the situation. We'll go ahead and help that, and they'll be pretty much the new face of the crime. We'll go ahead and try to get your charges dropped and put everything on that black person. This shit really happens, man. And then it's like white people, they'll think about it. They'll even like, man, I don't really want to do that. That's my friend and everything like that. But shit, I'll take the L on losing that friendship and turning on that person versus me getting a felony on my record and possibly going to jail or prison for a couple years. They absolutely do that all the time, and without even blinking an eye. And that's the thing that black people don't understand. These white people, man, they will sell you under the bus quick. When it's time to come to save them, when it's time to come to make a choice between them and you, who you think they're gonna choose? And it happens every time. So anyway, she was kicking hard for these white people. And I honestly, I mean, I didn't. I kind of felt that she may have do that, but I'm like, well, shit. Being that I'm giving, lacing you with some game, I'm giving you some real true facts about racism and how white people feel and how they move. I'm dropping her some knowledge that you can't get from, you can't really get from just reading in a book. Some shit that you have to experience, some shit that you observe over years and years of time. Just how they move and their mannerism, just how they, how they stay on code. She won't really get that, and she didn't really accept that. So what I felt she was doing to cape for her white friends is, I'm posting this on her Facebook and they're all reading it. So being that the majority of her friends are white, like she has more white friends than black friends. So she was trying to do everything to appease her white friends to make it seem like, what he's saying I don't really agree with. And it's like, how can you not agree with it when everything I'm saying is I'm just pretty much I'm just dropping historical facts. Like how can you like how it's just amazing to me how much she was capable for these white people, man. Capable for them so they can to make them feel better on her page. I'm like, you the dumb bitch that's just got them experience of racism, made a long ass Bible post about it, and then once a fellow brother comes to drop some knowledge about the said racism and about how they act and what you should do, the steps that you should take to pretty much shield yourself and to be sure who your friends, but you're turning on me and trying to kick for these white people because they're watching just to see what you're gonna say. Like, it makes no sense. And she just looks dumb. Like, I lost all respect for this chick. And she ended up calling me. She ended up calling me on the Facebook junk. I ain't really expect her to call her, but she was saying that how that I'm not making it any better. How I'm not making it any better. It seems like I'm trying to divide races and everything like that. And it needs to be some type of solution. We need to come together. I'm like, man, that's my whole fucking point. I'm like, we don't need to come together. Why do you I don't want to be friends with any white people. Like I'm good. I don't need any white people in my life. I've had white friends in the past before. I've had all friends from all different races in the past before. But once I got older, smartened up, wising up, saw how this world works for itself, saw how every day how the media portrays us and always blatantly trying to demonize us in the media, but never do the same thing for these white people who commit crimes 10 times far as worse, being charged far as worse, but they never drag them through the media and try to demonize them like they do black people, i.e. R. Kelly, i.e. Bill Cosby, i.e. Cuba Gooding Jr. recently, i.e. Jesse Smollett. Where's the Harvey Weinstein dragon? Where's the Kevin Spacey dragon? Where's the Matt Lauer dragon? Like all these people who's committed far worse crimes, being charged with felonies. Like we don't see them in the media being dragged on a consistent, constant, everyday basis. It's just blatant, and it kills me when black people they just I don't it's like they see it, it's like they see it, but it's like they want to make excuses. Oh, that's just that individual. Oh, he need to stop doing this. No, man, it's racism. Like you can give them the same examples, but they'll still cape for these motherfucking white people. So anyway, I was dropping knowledge like that, but she's just caping for these white people, going to bat for them, trying to save them, trying to make it seem like it's not as bad as what I'm saying, and the racism is not as bad. And man, I was totally disgusted. I was totally disgusted. So I told I'm like, look, man, I'm not trying to come together. There's there's no black and white coalition. You know what I'm saying? There's no alignment. Because when everything at the end of the day, when push comes to shove and they gotta make a decision, they're gonna fucking choose them over you each and every time. And I told there's only two types of white people. I'm like, there's the white people who who full well understand the pecking order of this system, that white people are on top financially and socially, and black people are on the bottom, and black people have to stay on the bottom. For the white people to stay on the top, that black people will always have to stay and remain on the bottom. And for some reason she just either didn't like that, didn't understand that, because she just kept caping for making excuses for him. And of course her white friends, I wasn't paying her white friends no mind. Like I didn't even give them no response and everything, because you know what I'm saying, when you talk about racism, white people, like I don't even honor or respect y'all opinions of what you say like that, because you ain't black, you're not even a minority. So you can't tell me how I should feel about racism when I'm the black person, when we're experiencing. All you can do is shut the fuck up and listen to what the fuck I'm going through, and take it with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? I don't hear shit about white people when it comes about racism, about how black people should be dealing with it. Like fuck out of here. And that's a problem. She's been doing that the whole time. She'll like being that the most of her friends are white. She'll listen to them and try to get some advice to them. Like, bitch, they white. Like, how the fuck you gonna get advice on how to deal with racism from another white person? Like, how stupid is that? Man, I wish I would have screenshot these comments and the shit I was dealing with. Because I was saying, even though white people doing at me, I was, I would leave comments, responses saying, I wish you the best, hope good luck, hope everything turn out for you. You know what I'm saying? You pretty much you trying to downplay what I'm saying and to appease your white friends. You know what I'm saying? It's like each and every statement that I made is a factual statement relating to racism and past historic facts about racism, and which you can't deny. But yet, for some reason, you're still trying to cape for these white people because you're trying to make them feel better and at ease and more comfortable to combat what I'm saying. Like, why the fuck would you want to do that? Like, I mean, I don't understand that. Like, bitch, you the one that's experienced racism just recently. So, and you felt how uncomfortable that you felt when you experienced it. So we're talking about racism, and I'm trying to lace you with some game, but you're trying to make it easier for these white people to feel comfortable on your page, all because I'm, hitting y'all with facts about racism. I mean, I was totally disgusted. So I was saying pretty much I was saying all that to get to the point of telling her how how black people are never on code, and that's her dealings with white people is one of the major reasons why. Like, you got all these white friends. I'm like, white people have a code of conduct. Chinese people have a code of conduct. Spanish people have a code of conduct somewhat. Jewish people definitely have a code of conduct, and Arabs have a code of conduct. Like, they don't do business with black people. They don't hire blacks. Like, they keep everything within their community. But for some reason, when it comes to black people, we off code and stay off code like a motherfucker, man. For some reason, we want to be friends with all races, especially white people. We want to motherfucking we act like we want a black or brown coalition. Like, for some reason, black people think that black and Mexicans or black and Spanish people are all going to come together. We all going to fight the same fight. No, we not. It's not going to happen like that. I, there's never ever going to be a black and brown coalition because Spanish people, for the majority of the part, they don't like us either. More than half the Spanish population, they adhere to white supremacy and they act and think like they white. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't act like the Spanish people who act and act like they black or have some type of black ancestry to them. Of course, are the ones who are the darkest, who look like they're black, but they're just Spanish. But even them, even some of them, lots of them have fucking have aggression towards black people, especially black people, the descendants of slaves, black people. It's like as soon as they get here in this country, it's like they get indoctrinated from white mommy and daddy of not to fuck with us and fall into all these stereotypes of black people, which is bullshit. But back to what I was saying, it's like black people off code like a motherfucker, and we stay off code, and it's fucked up. It's killing us, man. It really is killing us. I don't understand why we kick for all these other races, knowing they don't give a fuck about us. And that was the main thing I was trying to point to her, because I was telling her how she is, at the end of the day, politically naive. She's a smart person. She's book smart. She got to a point where she's obtained her master's. But I even told him, like, well, just because you got your master's, I got a degree too. I don't have a master's degree, but I got my degree. But just because you have a master's, that don't mean shit. That don't mean shit. That don't mean that you fucking Steve Urkel smart in racism. No, you just book smart, and of course, you got a master's. That's just what from a white indoctrinated school. Like, you don't. She just proved that she don't know really shit about racism and how it really works. She's telling me how she's trying to have a movement, and bring all minorities together. I'm telling her, man, that's not gonna work. That would never work. We've been trying to do that ever since like the '60s. Hasn't worked. It's not gonna work. All minorities don't like us. Like they don't like us. They don't fuck with us. They don't want to fuck with us. I was telling her, trying to tell her, they don't fuck with us if we go to Cape, we go to bat for all these races. In the media. In the media, we go to bat for all these other races. We want illegal immigrants to come in and be fine and have them have rights. We want all of this, but we'll cake for every other goddamn race, but we won't cake for us. I don't like them. Shit makes no fucking sense at all. So I was like, well, her ideas is different. I just, at the end of the day, I was like, well, you just see totally different. My thoughts on racism, the facts that I'm giving to you about racism, you're just pretty much trying to overlook those and downplay those and just give me an excuses as to why you want to cape and still have white friends. I mean, you can have white friends. I'm not saying, look, I'm not saying having friends of any other race is wrong or you shouldn't do that. I mean, you can do what you want to do. What I was trying to give her some game about is that you need to question these pretty much like a like when you're giving an interview. You need to interview your friends, your white friends, to see if their ideals and what they really believe in is in line with yours. Because 95% of them aren't. Like they just aren't. And she got mad when I asked her to challenge her white friends and question them on that because I think she really knows for a fact that the majority of them, their ideals, especially politically, is not in line with hers. So it's just like she didn't want to do that. I'm like, look. At the end of the day, I'm like, look, man, you can have the friends you want to have. Me personally, as a black man, and I'm trying to give you again. I hope everything that I'm saying, you would take heed and eventually think about it. Yeah, you're gonna kick for your white friends to appease them right now because they're all watching and reading. But at the end of the day, when you're by yourself and when you log off and when you're sitting alone in your bed and you're thinking about the racism that you just experienced and what you just posted about, think about my comments. Think about what I said. I hope they seep into your mind. You really start to believe and it'll open you up to knowing that every damn race at the end of the day, they're against us. Like when black people get killed unarmed in the streets by these white cops, do you see any of these other races saying how that's fucked up, how this genocide needs to stop, how we need to stop killing black people? No, you don't see none of these races or other ethnic groups coming to cake for us. But we always coming to cake for these other motherfuckers, man. I don't understand this shit. Even when we caper for white people these days, like I don't understand, like how I don't understand, like why black people go into Joe Biden's defense. And this nigga broke the three strikes bill. He's responsible for, but you still got black people killing. Like I just don't understand, and this is why we are at the bottom. Like black people, it just politically, when it comes to political smarts, political IQ, black people are at the bottom of the list because we just failed to realize how the system works politically. We fail to realize, and until we realize that we're never going to have any power, we're never going to get any power. Power is only all these other groups show that they obtain power because they all stick with themselves. They don't align themselves with any other ethnic groups trying to get, trying to get things accomplished. Like you'll never see Asian group, you know, have some Spanish people in here, some white people in here. They're all Asian. You'll never see the A-Rock group. It's like they're all group. But for some reason, black people want to get aligned with all these other groups to thinking that we're gonna get some type of agenda, some type of agenda passed through the government. We need our own. We need to stay aligned with our own selves, man. Because at the end of the day, only us is gonna care about us and shit. Even the media proves that there's a good percentage of us who don't care about us. Shit, you got all these sellout black ass coons on TV selling us out. Like this shit is ridiculous. Every black person that's on the news that comes on any fucking news channel, you can automatically chop them up as being a coon because they're never gonna speak against oppression. They're never gonna speak against racism. They're never gonna say they're never gonna spread the same ideas that every true real Black American descendant of Black American slaves have in this society because they're selling out trying to get they're trying to get They're crumbs from white daddy, from white mommy and daddy. These little punk ass jobs that they that they hold in such high regard. They think that these jobs are gonna last forever, and all types of things. They get these, they selling out just for personal financial gain. But at the end of the day, it's still crumbs compared to what other ethnic groups get. Hold on, excuse me for a second. So I'm just trying to point out and prove the fact that politically, as a group, black people will never get anywhere until they realize that they can only that the only way we'll get somewhere is if we unite, stand as one group, and pretty much fight for every agenda that we want passed. Here's the kicker, though. So she had. I'm gonna assume that it was maybe her brother or a relative because his last name was Williams as well. Damn, I just gave her last name. I didn't mean to say last name, but they had the same last name. So he's another one who responded to me with this very long thesis statement as a reply. I read his whole reply, and he was, first of all, he tried to come at me with he tried to come at with me with trying to excuse me, y'all, my bad. I'm smoking a blunt. I had it, I smoke a little something when I'm trying to calm my nerves and just relax and really get into what I'm saying. But I should have known was a problem when he was trying to prove to me how black he was. And I should have searched his profile. I should have looked at his profile before I responded. But I was on my phone and I was reading his response on the phone, so I just hit reply and I responded. But first of all, he was trying to prove to me how black he was. I guess he was doing that to show that even though he's trying to claim he is black as me and has the same ideals, that he still thinks that we should, we should have white friends. And he was pretty much saying the same thing. He was caping for white people. He's trying to say, yeah, hi, I listen to hip hop. I'm this black because I listen to such and such. I listen to hip hop and I listen to this type of rapper and that rapper and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Pretty much to prove his blackness. So, and before I even looked at his profile, I gave him a very smart response. I was like, man, trying to show and prove how black you are is totally irrelevant when it comes to this issue because, as you know, the media is a prime indicator of of a person being how black they are, but they may be a coon, sellout ass nigga or what have you. And I was like, Talib Kweli and Killer Mike prove this to be fact. So you got Talib Kweli and Killer Mike caping hard as fuck for these white people, and I'm shocked at both of them. Well, I'm really shocked at Killer Mike. Talib Kweli, I'm not really that shocked because it's just, I mean, even though Talib Kweli grew up, rapping about all that pro blackness and everything else, he just, man, looking at his social media over the past few weeks and everything, and how he's caping hard for these white people hugging up, and like he's taking pictures hugged up with white people. Like when he was rapping, he would have never did shit like this. That's how you know it's some type of agenda at hand. Like they, anyway. Um, well, I get back to the point I was making. Um, oh yeah, so I was like, that you trying to prove to me how black you are by how much hip hop you listen to is just totally irrelevant, fam. Like that don't mean shit to me. Actions prove more than anything. But anyway, so after I gave him this very long, articulate, intelligent response, pretty much discrediting and disproving, this black and white alliance that they fucking, I don't understand why they living in and how we should still feel the same. We shouldn't harbor any hate towards white people, even though racism. They just give me all this caping ass answers trying to kick all these white people on their thread. So anyway, I go to check out this motherfucker's profile. Man, I wasted my time in giving this and dignifying his ass with an intelligent, articulate response. Why? Do you know this fool, this black fool? Well, first you can even look at him and tell that he's a motherfucking. He's like one of those people that tries to hide every single ounce of blackness except for his skin. I mean, he's black. He has one of those caramel complexions, but he's bald headed. He's one of them dudes that likes to cut all his hair off, so he can hide that blackness. Well, I ain't really saying glasses is a deterrent, but you got black people who don't need glasses but wear glasses anyway, just to give off that appearance, like to make it appear like they smart. Like for some reason, if you wear glasses, like you just automatically smart. People like that crack me up, but it's just that look that he's giving up. But the kicker, what made my mouth drop and bust out laughing is this fool had a picture of him skydiving, but one of his white friends is on this nigga's back. like no, like no lie. He had a white friend on his back. They skydiving, and both of them have these quirky ass faces in the camera. These making these little quirky face, like his face is like, oh god. I can't even explain it. It's one of them stupid quirky ass faces that that white people do, just react all funny and stupid. But the dude is on his back, like literally, I mean, dick and balls on this nigga ass, y'all. On this nigga ass, fucking skydiving. Now, like, man, look, I understand. I ain't been skydiving yet, and I ain't gonna lie. Even though I'm black, I actually want to go because I love stuff like that. I've been bungee jumping before. I did that when I was in Indonesia. A whole bunch of white people made, but they ain't make me go there. I was like, black people don't bungee jump, but they paid me to go. I was like, oh shit, I'll do it. You only live once. At least I can say I did this. I bungee jump, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I want to go skydiving, but I'll be damned if another motherfucker be on my back. Well, I understand, like if you go skydiving, like you have to jump with somebody or something like that. I'm gonna have to see about that because I don't want nobody jumping with me, especially nobody on my motherfucking back. I'll see about that. But what I do know is that the person who was skydiving with him, it wasn't no instructor or nothing like that. You could tell these motherfuckers were friends, like they was just the best of friends. Anyway, that's just my rant. I know I got more to say. I'm trying to think of more to say, but I'm just gonna wrap this up here because this video is getting a little bit longer anyway, and I feel like I'm kind of all over the place because I can't remember all that transpired on that Facebook post, but I was trying to pretty much, give y'all the most important factors of what happened, and it was just, yeah, I can't believe that another fellow black woman turned on her fellow black man when we both experiencing the same racism and the same white the same white supremacist world, but you're turning on me to appease your white friends on your Facebook page. Now I can see that something that I said was a lie, inaccurate. It didn't hold any weight, wasn't true, but everything that I stated was absolute truth and facts. But yet she still got mad and turned on me all because I was making it uncomfortable for them to post on her page as well. And I'm like, racism, when you talk about race, especially when you talk about race between a white person and a black person or different ethnic groups, it's never going to be a comfortable conversation. It's never going to be comfortable because when you talk about racism, that means you have to bring up all the barbaric things that was done to us in the past and still doing us today. I mean, honestly, black people are still slaves today. We're just we're just slaves without chains, but we're slaves mentally in a digital world. I mean, that's all it is because until we understand how politics really truly works, we're always gonna be slaves, man. We're never gonna get any power. Cops gonna stay killing us in the streets because we have no type of political power. If y'all think we had any type of political power, y'all think we'd be getting killed in the streets right now? It wouldn't happen. You don't see Jewish teens or kids getting killed in the streets unarmed. You don't see this happen to Chinese people. You don't see this happen to Mexican people. It happens to no other ethnic groups but us, and we just allow and let it happen. I don't understand this shit. I don't understand why we continue to allow and let this shit happen, man. When we gonna start to fight back and really fight back? Like protesting don't do shit. Somebody let me know when has protesting ever solved or done anything. History has always shown, and I'll give white people credit to this. I'll give white people credit to this. History has always shown, white people has always shown in past history that when you want major things accomplished, when you want to get an agenda accomplished, that only war and battles gets that shit accomplished. And until black people realize and understand that, man, we always gonna be at the bottom of the boat. We run around screaming how gangster we is and how gangster and how much killer we is, but yet, when it's time to kill that white person, all of a sudden we bitch ass niggas. Like I don't want to hear shit about anybody being gangster until you can show me that you can kill some other than somebody that look like you. Because these motherfucking cops ain't doing shit. When we get killed in the streets, especially when we killing us, I mean, they may try a little bit more hard to look for the person they think a black person did it just because they can kill two birds with one stone. There's already one black person dead, and we can get the black person up who killed this black person. We can lock him up for life. Yeah, we doing that job. That's two birds with one stone. But at the end of the day, whenever a black person gets killed, man, you can trust that they're not really spending that much time on it, nor do they care to find out who killed them because that's what they want. They want genocide. They want black people to die off in huge numbers because their race is dying off. They're trying to preserve their race as much as they can. White people used to be what I think they used to be like 80-90% of this population, like beginning in the early 1900s. Now they're like 60%. And each and every year their numbers dwindle. And so they recognize and understand that for them to hold on to every ounce of power that they have to try to keep their numbers whole and their numbers more and more than every other ethnic race, every other ethnic group in the United States. But of course, we know at the current pace, that's not going to happen. So they're resorting to any and every measure to pretty much try to at least kill off as much black people as they can because we are the only ethnic race who stands in their way of we're the only ethnic race who can overpower them. We are the strongest race in this world. We are superior, physically superior to any other ethnic group in this world. And of course, sports is a prime indicator of that. And white people know this. White people know that once we really wake up, really truly wake up and realize that the only reason that white people are where they at is because they raped and stole it from us a long time ago, and that it was once ours, and that we ruled this world, and that they were our slaves back, ancient times. Once they realize that, wake up and say, enough is enough. We're not taking this shit no more, and not afraid to die for something that's greater than themselves. Then the white people know they got a problem. But until then, ain't shit gonna change because black people, at the end of the day, they punks. We scared. We scared to fight. It's like we will fight and put our lives put our lives on the line to go get this brick, to go get that pound, to go rob this dude, so I can come up on a couple pounds real quick. But when you want real true power to put all black people on top, so we all can be living a better life. It's like nobody wants to do that. They're satisfied with the current system, even though we being killed every day. It makes no sense, man. A black utopia is to die for. That would be the betterment of each and every black person in this world versus us dealing with this current system that's killing us. I guess the majority of black people think that knowing the past century of times, thinking that because we got the best, we're living the best in this world, which they think, I guess, we're living the best financially in this world that we ever have before in the past. That things can't get no better. When that's the absolute, we can be living like them. We can totally flip, reverse the pecker orders of this world. We can put us at the top, and where we are right now, financially and socially, we can put them white motherfuckers at the bottom. All the hoods and everything. When you go to every major city, we go to all the hoods, and every major city in the United States is mostly populated. Well, that's starting to change because of gentrification, but it was mostly populated with black people in these poorest areas. Wouldn't y'all like to see the majority of these white people living like that, living in them areas, and us living how they live? I mean, why I don't understand. How come nobody wants to reverse the status quo? Let's reverse the status quo. I don't like the status quo, even though I'm personally living good. This is just. I'm not putting my face out there. I don't want my face out there. But what you looking at in the background? This is my room. This is my bed. I got a candy bed with a top, imported from Indonesia. So this is not coming from a black person who's living in, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, this is not coming from a black person who's living in dire needs, who, you know what I'm saying? I'm not hurting for cash. I'm not hurting for money. I flip cryptocurrency. I've been flipping stocks of cryptocurrency for the past 10 years. You know, I do my thing. I got bread. I'm one of the ones who's kind of comfortable. So that's why I feel like I can make these videos, and maybe hopefully I'll try to trigger the next black person, because this is not coming from a person who's broken, fucked up, and destitute in life, saying, man, fuck these white people, man. I can't believe I'm broke, poor, and fuck this and that. No, man, I made something in my life. I actually, you know what I'm saying? I made something in my life. I got shit going on. I'm the cream of the crop type of nigga for an average person. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, even though I'm living good and I'm comfortable, I still don't like, I still don't like this world. I still don't like the status quo. I don't like white people being on top, because we still only get crumbs. And at the end of the day, that I recognize, as a whole, as a group, as a whole, if we not all doing good, then we all doing bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like seeing going out the comfort of my gated community when I go to visit my friends in the hood, how they living. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the majority like that. When y'all rather be on top, aren't y'all tired of being on the bottom? Aren't y'all tired of seeing us get killed in the streets? I definitely am, man. I really am. I'm gonna end this video here, man. All power to the black media. The black media is the new movement. Peace and respect to brother Jason Black. Peace and respect to brother Professor Black. Peace and respect to brother Tariq Nasheed. Them three brothers I follow on YouTube, and I watch every time they post a video. Every single time they post a video, I'm front and center. I rarely ever watch TV anymore, because I recognize and understand that TV is all bullshit. I mean, I may catch a movie here. The only thing I watch on TV is football. I love football season, even though that shit may be red, but I love watching football. And I may catch a movie every now and then. I don't watch any more news like that anymore, because I'm just tired of seeing us get killed in the streets. I'm just tired of seeing the demonization of black people, and plus it's just everything's propaganda and bullshit. These new The white media lies to us so fucking much, man. It lies to us so fucking much. I don't even need the news more, because every time I see and watch the news, my inner self gets mad. Like, I want to go out here and I want to kill a white motherfucker immediately. And that's another thing. He said, that's another thing. My bad. Before I even close this video, black dude who was skydiving with the white dude was like, "Oh, you seem like one of those angry, mad black men, this and that, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, you damn right, motherfucker. What the fuck is wrong with you? You damn right I'm mad and angry. I'm like, how can you, as a black man living in the United States of America, knowing the past history of this world and seeing how we're being treated each and every day in the media, how we're being gunned down, how we're being shot and killed, we're the only ethnic group being shot and killed in the streets, and it doesn't anger you? I'm like, I was flipping it. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? How are you even black? How can you look at yourself in the mirror? How does this not anger you? I'm like, answer that for me. You say I'm mad and angry. I'm like, you damn right. I'm like, nigga, answer me. How can you not be angry knowing you see that? I'm like, there's only two reasons that this doesn't anger you. Either you just one of them self-hating black motherfuckers that you don't care and hate yourself, hate your own skin, that you are even black, or you're just a sellout. Like, that's the only reason why it cannot anger you. So you seem like one of them angry, mad black men. You damn right, motherfucker. You damn right I'm angry and mad. The fuck is wrong with you, nigga? I'm black, living in a racism world. The fuck is wrong with you? You damn right I'm angry. Like, that's why I'm smoking a blunt right now. Like, it takes every ounce of me not to go in just to commit a random act and killing a white motherfucker. For real. Because that's just how I feel. Like, I'm to the point where I know, man, let me keep my views to myself. This is just for another video. I'm gonna save that for another video. I got a lot more content coming. But that's why I'm trying to hide my face, because shit that I'm saying, if they was ever see me out, man, I'll be murdered and killed right away. Honestly. Honestly. Makes no sense. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and end that video right there. Black power, black first. No black vote, no black agenda, no black vote. Black people, I urge you guys, do not vote for any presidential election unless we're getting reparations, something tangible. And there's nothing to vote for. There's nothing to vote for at all. I mean, there's nothing like you as a black person. Like, what has there anything that any white politician has ever said in life that you can remember since the 1800s that you favored, that you said this will personally and directly benefit you? There's not one black person who can ever name one thing that has been passed, one directly and personally benefits you. So why are y'all voting? Blacks are superior. We are superior and very extraordinary race. I love each and every one of y'all. Peace out.